Welcome back to the Business Hub. This is your host, Don Workman, and I'm glad you could join us for another episode. Episode 11 today is going to be exciting. But before we get into that, I just want to give a big shout out to my friends at Lone Star Tribes. We're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. On Facebook, it's called Dad Tribes. If you're a father, a husband, uncle, grandfather, new dad, whatever, ladies, your husbands sometimes have a problem getting out and just commiserating with gentlemen with their similar interests. This is your group. Whether you like to travel, whether you like to chill and smoke cigars, barbecue, golf, fish, pick something. Video games, all of it. It's a great group. I've been a part for about a year. Bo and the guys here are just amazing. They have weekly or monthly get-togethers all over the Metroplex if you live in the Dallas area. And I understand that the Lone Star Tribes is now gone international. We have a tribe in Australia and other places in the country. So it's really taken hold and helping dads find a community of men who are walking life and they're doing life with them. Because, sometimes we feel like we're the only ones. So I appreciate them and I appreciate you all being here. Again, my name is Don Workman, the host of the Business Hub. And we're going to dive right into this. So let me ask you a question. If the most important employee didn't show up for work tomorrow, what would it cost your business? Not just emotionally, but financially. For many small businesses, there's one person who keeps everything moving. It might be a top salesperson, a lead engineer, a general manager, or even a partner. And if this person who's suddenly gone due to death or disability, the financial impact can be devastating. Today, we're going to talk about a tool that many business owners overlook, but can literally save the company. Key employee insurance. Now, let me start with a quick story. A few years ago, I talked to a small business owner who ran a successful HVAC company. Great reputation, loyal customers, and solid revenue. When we started talking about his business structure, I asked him a simple question. Who is the one person in your company you absolutely couldn't replace tomorrow? He didn't hesitate. He said Mike. Mike was his lead tech. The guy could fix anything. Customers asked for him by name. Other techs called to him when they got stuck on a job. Then I asked the next question. What happens to your business if Mike doesn't show up for work tomorrow? The room got quiet. Because the reality is most small businesses have a Mike. And today we're talking about something designed specifically to protect businesses from that exact risk. Key employee insurance. What is key employee insurance? Key employee insurance is pretty simple. It's a life insurance policy that takes the company, the life insurance policy that a company takes out on a critical employee. The business owns the policy, the business pays the premium, and the business receives the benefit if something happens to that person. Think of it as an insurance on the engine of your company, because in many small businesses, the entire operation runs on a few key people. The main purpose of a key employee insurance policy is to offset the economic hardship that comes with the loss of an owner or key person. Now, here's some interesting statistics for you too. 71% small businesses say they depend heavily on one or two people. 71%, that's a lot, right? But here's the flip side of that. Only 22% carry key person insurance. And in family businesses, even worse, they only utilize it about 15%. So you see how they understand the needs there, but not a lot of people are taking advantage of this to protect their businesses. So we're gonna have another story for you here. This one's called the Sales Rainmaker. I once met an owner of a marketing firm, about 20 employees, doing well. But when we started looking at the numbers, something interesting popped. One salesperson was responsible for about 45% of the company's revenue. One person. One guy. Now imagine that person suddenly passing away or becoming disabled. Not only does the company lose that revenue stream, but those clients may start drifting to other competitors. The owner told me something I'll never forget. He said, Don, if I lost one salesperson, I'm not sure the company would survive a year. That's exactly the situation key employee insurance is built for. It provides a financial cushion while the business stabilizes and finds a replacement. So who counts as a key employee? A lot of people assume this only applies to executives and partners. But in a small business, key employees show up in all kinds of roles. It might be your top salesperson, a tech who understands your entire system, a manager who runs the day-to-day operations, a partner who runs the finances, and one person who holds a key client relationships. Those can be very important, and they are very important to a business owner. Sometimes it's the person who knows how everything works behind the scenes. You may have one of those at your company, and those people are invaluable. If they disappeared tomorrow, things would slow down fast. Now think of your business, where you're at, either an HVAC company, some kind of manufacturing company, or a restaurant. You got that chef, that chef that's been brings your restaurant some neighborhood notoriety. I can think of a few in my neighborhood, in my area, that could hold true to. Third story, the family business. Here's another real life situation. A small manufacturing company has been run by a father and son for years. The son handles production, vendors, and operations. The father handled the business side. Then unexpectedly, the son passed away. Production stopped almost immediately. No one else understands the system he had built. Vendors didn't know who to call. Orders were delayed. A business survived, and it took nearly 2 years to recover. Think about your business in this 2026. Do you think you could survive? Your business would survive 2 years if you lost one of your key employees? You may have more than one, but we'll just stick with one because it's simpler. Think about that for a minute. 2 years to recover. The owner later said something that stuck with me. He said, "I never realized how much of a company was inside one person's head." That's the hidden risk many business owners face, because a lot of times the information inside somebody's head isn't really the first thing we think about as far as value. Am I right? Because if you've got a shop, could be an automotive shop, you've got your lifts, your tools, etc., your POS system, the land, your lease, all that kind of stuff you're worried about. You insure all these things, but then you don't insure the most valuable thing, which is the person who is very essential for the survival of your company. Something to keep in mind regarding that, because what's inside a person's head, you can't put a price on that. So what does it actually do? What key employee insurance actually does? Key employee insurance or key person insurance doesn't replace the person. Okay, let's just say that. It doesn't, but it does buy the business time. The funds can help with things like hiring, recruiting, a replacement, right? You're gonna have to replace the person, right? Covering a lost revenue that during that transition. Bringing in consultants or temporary experts, that can be very costly. Reassuring lenders and investors, and if you're in that kind of boat, that's something that I would seriously consider looking into. Stabilizing the company while things work out. And they just, it's your boat's got a little leak. This is going to help you plug that leak for the short term so you can get everything going back the way it was, right? In other words, it gives the business breathing room during a very difficult time. Why most businesses don't have it. I found this very interesting. What's interesting is most businesses aren't opposed to the idea. They've just never been introduced to it. They've insured buildings, they insure vehicles, they insure equipment. We just kind of talked about that a little bit. But the most valuable asset in the business is often the people. The part sometimes gets overlooked. It's sad, but it's true. Businesses can experience revenue decline of up to 60% when a key person dies or becomes unavailable. I don't know about you, but if I had a business, a brick and mortar business that relied a lot on somebody and then we lost them in 60%, I'm not sure how long my business would last. How about yourself? Ask yourself that question. How long would you last if somebody that you depended on heavily passed away or left? Because that can really impact your businesses in more ways than I've got to replace him because of all the things we've talked about. So we got some closing thoughts. Here's a question for every business owner listening. If you woke up tomorrow and one person in your company was suddenly gone, what would you do? Who would create the biggest hole in your business? Think about that. The person that immediately comes to mind, that's probably your key employee. And protecting your company from that risk might be one of the smartest strategic moves you can make. If you'd like to learn more about strategies that protect businesses and the people behind them, feel free to reach out. I'll put my contact information at the bottom of the screen, and you can see that there, and give me a holler, and we can have a discussion and kind of see how we can help you build your business, protect your people, and secure your future. Thanks for listening. Till next time, I'll see you on the next episode. This is Don Workman with the Business Hub, signing off.